Hello, grade 10. Welcome to English 10 class. How are you doing? Great. I'm so glad to be with you. This week, our topic will be identifying key structural elements of exposition, statement of position. At the end of this module, you are expected to define the different elements of an exposition, determine the structural elements of a statement of position in an exposition, and construct your own exposition statement. Before we proceed with the discussion, let us review the other different types of essays. Narrative essay is one that tells a story. This is usually a story about a personal experience you had, but it may also be an imaginative exploration of something you have not experienced. Descriptive essay provides a detailed sensory description of something. Like narrative essays, they allow you to be more creative than most academic writing, but they are more tightly focused than narrative essays. You might describe a specific place or object rather than telling a whole story. Persuasive essay. It is a type of academic writing where you use logic and arguments to convince readers of your point of view, using solid evidence such as research, stating facts, examples, and quotes from experts. And argumentative essay. It presents an extended evidence-based argument. It requires a strong thesis statement, which is a clearly defined stance on your topic. Your aim is to convince the reader of your thesis using an evidence, such as quotations and analysis. An expository essay. It is a genre of writing which tends to explain, illustrate, clarify, or explicate something in a way that it becomes clear for readers. Therefore, it could be an investigation, evaluation, or even argumentation about an idea for clarification. This time, let us discuss what is an exposition. In writing an exposition, one must observe caution to make sure that all ideas presented are clear and free from ambiguities to make readers understand what the writer is trying to explain. It is in this sense that even at the beginning of the essay, everything must be on point, particularly the writing of the statement of position. An exposition persuades a reader or listener by presenting one side of an argument. By taking a point of view and justifying it, we aim to convince others to see only that side of an issue. Some expositions speculate as to what might be and persuade others as to what should be. Remember, exposition texts can be personal and emotive in tone, and selectively explain and analyzes events, issues, and phenomena. The writer wants the reader to empathize with the emotions and reasons and to support the action. Let me read with you this example essay. Smoking in restaurants is just not on. It must not be allowed because it is rude, harmful to others, and dangerous to the smoker. Firstly, smoking in a restaurant is impolite. The smell of the smoke affects all people and can turn them off food they eat. People pay to taste good food and not to be put off by foul smell and smoke. Another reason smoking should not be allowed in restaurants is the harm that it can do to others. Passive smoking, that is, breathing in smoke made by a smoker, can lead to asthma attacks and even cancer. Finally, smoking is dangerous and a healthy risk to the smoker. Cigarettes cause health and lung disease, and people should not smoke anywhere, not just in restaurants. Therefore, smoking in restaurants is impolite, harmful to others, and a health risk to the smoker and should not be allowed in any restaurant. Let us now determine the structure of an exposition text through the example essay that I have read earlier, starting off with the introduction. In an exposition, a statement of position is usually found in the introduction. Let us explore. State what the issue is. That is, smoking in restaurants is just not on. This one states what the issue is. The second one is, state what you think about. In the introduction that we have, it must not be allowed. And lastly, in the introduction, it highlights the points you are going to write about. In the example, is rude, harmful to others, and dangerous to smoker. Meaning to say, these 3 points that you had mentioned in the introduction will be the content of the next part or structure of the exposition. The next part of an exposition is the body. Here you are going to write, why should people believe you? Earlier in the introduction, we have 3 important points. These are what we are going to write about. Argument 1 is rude. In the second paragraph, it tells about smoking in a restaurant is impolite. Second argument is smoking, according to him, is harmful to others. Therefore, we're going to write about the reason why smoking should not be allowed in restaurants. And the third one, the third argument would be about smoking is dangerous to the smoker. Here, you are going to write what makes smoking dangerous to the health of the smoker. These 3 arguments focuses on the highlighted points that you had mentioned in your statement of position in the introduction earlier. So, this is the body or the content of your exposition. First one, introduction, where you can find the statement of position, and we have 3 arguments for the body highlighting the points that you had mentioned in the statement of position. After the introduction and the body, the last and final part of an exposition is called conclusion. That is strongly repeating what you believe. Focusing on these 2 parts. In the introduction, we have, it must not be allowed. Therefore, in your conclusion, the restated statement would be, should not be allowed in any restaurant. The next one is, you are going to summarize the reason why. In the introduction, it is written as, is rude, harmful to others, and dangerous to the smoker. In your conclusion, you will restate it as, smoking in restaurants is impolite, harmful to others, and a health risk to the smoker. After learning about the structure of an exposition, let us now proceed with the language features of an exposition. Using the same essay, let us take them one at a time. The first one is the use of words that show the author's attitude or or modality. The example words and phrases are it must not be allowed, should not be allowed. These words means that the author is against or in opposition of smoking in restaurants. The second one is the use of words that express feelings, or also known as emotive words. What are the examples? We have rude, harmful, dangerous, impolite, foul, cancer, dangerous. These words are emotive words expressing feelings. Another is the use of linking words. For you to be better understood by your readers, it is important that you use linking words such as firstly, another reason, finally, and therefore. These words are important for you to be able to connect the ideas from one paragraph to another. Another thing that you should remember as language features of an exposition, when you write an exposition text, you have to remember that you are going to use present tense and mostly in the third person. After learning about the structure and features of an exposition, it is now time for us to write and construct statement of position using this example essay. Let me read it for you. Is the internet bad for young people? It is now easier than ever to access internet, whether you are using a computer, a phone, or a tablet. There is no doubt that many young people are spending more time online with both positive and negative consequences. One advantage of the internet is that young people can do research for their schoolwork and homework. These often leads to teenagers to widen their knowledge and improve their grades. Another positive aspect of the internet is that people can practice foreign language by chatting friends in other countries. This is also a good way of keeping in touch with the family around the world. On the other hand, there are also negative consequences. Some young people become addicted to online gaming, and this can mean that they waste too much time playing games. These can be negative effect on their schoolwork, the amount of exercise they get, and their social lives. In addition, excessive internet use means that some young people hardly talk to their families because they are always on the computer. To sum up, spending time in the internet can have a negative impact on young people, but it has many advantages too. Personally, I think the internet is an incredible tool and the benefits of internet access outweigh the dangers. However, we should be careful not use the internet excessively. In writing the statement of position of the essay that we have earlier, we have to remember the 3 pointers. State what the issue is, state what you think about, and lastly, you have to write and highlight about what you want to write about. In the example that we have, this is the statement of position. Internet is bad for the young people if used inappropriately. It has positive and negative effects and consequences to users. Use must be well and properly oriented, not to use it excessively. Now that you know the different structure and features of an exposition and how are you going to write your statement of position, let us have a short quiz about the topic. True or false? Number 1. Statement of position contains a clear proposition or statement that must be defended. Answer is true. Number 2. Topic is something you can explain. Correct. answer is true. Number 3. Argument needs to be logically developed and supported, and justified with reasons, examples, expert evidence, and statistical information, and always begin each paragraph with a key statement or general statement. It is true. Number 4. The body of an exposition text is composed of one paragraph. It is false. Number 5. Reinforcement of statement summarizes and concludes the argument. It's true. Great job! Now you are ready to create your own statement of position. For your activity, read the article carefully and write your statement of position about it. You may submit your output in our G Classroom. That's it for today. I hope you learned from the discussion. For clarification and inquiries, you may reach me in my Facebook account. With Mumsy, English is fun. See you in my next video. Keep safe and God bless.